The following KQED production was produced in high definition.
Yes, check please, people.
It's all about licking your plate.
The food was just fabulous.
I should be in psychoanalysis for the amount of money I spend in restaurants.
I had a horrible experience.
I don't even think we were at the same restaurant. And everybody, I'm sure, saved room for those desserts.
You better.
Hi, I'm Leslie Sabraco. Welcome to Check Please Bay Area, the show where regular Bay Area residents review and talk about their favorite restaurants. Now we have 3 guests, and each one recommends one of their favorite spots, and the other 2 go check them out to see what they think. This week, Laura Lyson gave up a career in microbiology for special ed. Her keen eye focused in on an eatery in the Castro. Turns out it's been there for more than 20 years. And she feels it's about time we learned of its unique Cal-Asian cuisine. And CPA and money man, Steve Kameroff, escapes his calculator and counts the miles to his destination restaurant. The pastoral setting reminiscent of Provence is the perfect formula for a relaxed evening of dining. But first, Haven Bork is a partner in a green PR firm. She ate her way around Jerusalem, then almost married a Palestinian in the hope of acquiring his mother's secret recipes. Now, when she craves authentic Arabic flavors, she stops by a little hole in the wall on Kearny Street in San Francisco. It's called the Baladie Gourmet Cafe.
I came to San Francisco with my computer science degree to have maybe a print shop or something tech. I passed by Balade and we love the food, and I like the restaurant. The owner just dragged me downstairs and started explaining to me how good the food is and how good the restaurant is. And
I was very hesitant. I said no. I said no many times. Many times I said no.
So I had to drag him over.
Yeah, so he talked me into it. I like the atmosphere. I like the restaurant. I sat here when it's busy. I like the clientele. This is a very versatile type of food. Vegetarians, we get meat lovers. I mean, whatever food they like, we can offer.
Hummus has been there for 7,000 years and it's been used by Egyptian. And we have a very famous recipe, and we get so much compliments about the hummus, and especially like from Middle Eastern people either, and they compare it to back home and they love it.
If somebody needs really great food and great atmosphere and very authentic, Balade is the place. We're friendly pretty much most of the time.
Haven, Balade has a number of different meanings, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably the most predominant is kind of pastoral, bucolic, out in the country. So it conveys simplicity and authenticity. You can't really make it up. Exactly.
Right. And is this what Baladie Cafe food is to you, that homegrown, real, authentic?
Very much so. It is like going back to my future prospective, now no longer prospective mother-in-law's kitchen, which is actually in Nazareth, in the Palestinian part of Israel. Her kitchen was just so fresh and authentic. This is the way she cooked, and this is what her world was like. And I taste those flavors when I return to Baladie Cafe.
And how often do you go? Is this a regular spot for you?
It's an embarrassing addiction. I'm there usually several times a week, and I keep going back there and bringing office mates and getting there as often as I can.
And it really is a place to go in and take the food and leave. There are a few tables. And
you can sit there and you can enjoy the rocking Turkish pop and some of the best of the Arabic folk classics, some of which actually talk about food.
Well, there is a belly dancing bell that you can ring and then start belly dancing. So
I have yet to see that, although I'd be first in line.
I don't know. The owners, Mike and Nick, told me that they're going to sign us up as soon as we get in there to belly dance. Now, what are some of your favorite dishes when you go?
Some of my favorite dishes are, in fact, the classics. The meze plate. Meze, of course, is just the appetizers, the small plates. I love their hummus because it is so incredibly creamy. just the perfect essence of what a puree really wants to be.
And let's talk about the hummus because they're certainly known for it.
I had the dip platter, and there was some hummus on that, and I have to say that it was very creamy, like you said, and had a lot of flavor. And I like all the dips on the platter. I like the baba ganoush and the tahini, and everything was very fresh and tasty.
I didn't have the hummus, but I probably wish I had, because I might have had a different impression of the place.
Ah, so what did you have? And
You know, I had a gyro sandwich, and my fiance had the falafel, and she's Israeli, so she was really looking forward to having something that was, you know, bring her back home. And I've had all of her mother's, you know, homemade dips and all those good things, and I just didn't get that same feeling from it. But I don't think I tried any of the dips, which I really enjoy, so I wish I had.
it's pretty crazy at lunch hour.
Oh, there's usually a
Absolutely.
line out the door. It's really hard to get in, and I think that they manage that with grace. And I think that the fact that there's a line out the door, and there's so many little eating places there along Kearney, usually this is the only one with a big line.
When I went there, I didn't know the program. I didn't know what to do. I walked in and there were all these people crowding around, and I was with a friend, and it was so crowded I told him to go over and find a seat, and the seats were kind of all squished together, and you know, it was very confusing. So they did have a nice display case where some of the fresh salads and things were displayed, so I kind of, okay, I'll take one of those. The eggplant salad, that looked really fresh and had beautiful cucumbers and colors. The tomatoes and everything looked very nice. And so when I got up to the counter, I placed my order, and then they scream out the numbers, you know, your number. And so you're hearing all these numbers screaming, and you know, these people and everything. It was very confusing.
Just like the Middle East, you've got to be right on your game, or someone's going to move in and take the last milk carton. It's true, yeah. And actually, that's interesting, because to me, that does also speak to the authenticity of the experience. What they do specialize in as well is dishes that you don't normally see in your typical Middle Eastern cafe. The mujadra, in particular, is one of my favorites. It's a lentil and rice dish. They're absolute poetic songs in Arabic folk literature that say, we are the poor and humble and righteous. Leave the stinking meat to the filthy rich. Give us our crunchy vegetables, our lentils and rice. Give us our mujadra. So it's a dish of great poetry with a lot of history behind it.
75% of what they do is vegetarian, but you can order things with meat. So if you want meat on it, you can certainly get that.
Yeah, see, I ordered the meat. I wish I had gone with you.
Yeah.
And then maybe I would have had some more of the things that I really like.
You're coming with me.
Everybody has to go with
going
Haven.
again.
Everybody has to go with
right.
Haven.
My one objection really to it was that I looked up and there's this ceiling fan, and it was encrusted with dirt, and I thought, oh my God, if they turn that fan on, those dust bunnies are going to go flinging around.
It's just like the bus station. Just like the bus station in Jerusalem. You were there, you know.
Now, what about price? Did you feel like this is a place that you've got a good, healthy portion for what you're spending, or?
Well, when I saw on the menu they had lentil soup, and I had the lentil soup, it was delicious. It had chunks of potato and carrot in it, and you can get a quart of this lentil soup for $5. I was like, oh my gosh, that's just incredible. You cannot make a quart of lentil soup for that
This
amount.
is Middle Eastern fast food, right? This is ready to go, inexpensive. And desserts, coffees, because they have some Arabic coffee and mint teas and things to have, and baklava. And
They have the baklava. The baklava is very fresh, and the other desserts, I think freshness in this, when you've got the phyllo dough and also the crunchy shredded wheat stuff, freshness is important, and also variety in your nuts. So you get your walnuts, you get your pistachio nuts. I think that'll make anybody happy.
Right. And the coffee has a bit of cardamom in it for that little bit of flavor to, you know, Arabic Turkish coffee. Haven, this is your spot, so wrap it up for us.
For very authentic food made by wonderful Palestinian guys, dishes you won't find on other menus, for me it's Baladie Cafe.
Okay, Laura?
Well, I'd say that if someone brought me the food, I would eat it because it's very delicious, but I'd have to wear my sunglasses if I ever went there again.
All right, and Steve?
It wasn't my favorite place. I would go back and try some of the things that you mentioned, see if I might like it better, but, you know, so far, so-so.
Well, if you would like to try Baladie Gourmet Cafe, it's on Kearney Street in San Francisco. The telephone number is 415-989-6629. It's open weekdays for lunch and early dinner, and Saturdays for lunch. Reservations are not accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is around $10. Laura's pick has redecorated in new colors of black and gold. They describe the atmosphere as fresh and sexy, and the perfect setting for the Asian-influenced California cuisine. It's in the Castro in San Francisco, and it's called Sumi.
Sumi has been here for the last 22 years, which makes it one of the longest serving restaurants in the Castro. It was formerly called Matante Sumi, which means my Aunt Sumi. Sumi is still the owner. She is still here after 22 years, and she's here every night of the week. We've evolved over the years into more California cuisine, which is a little lighter, more healthy, a lot more fresh ingredients. The restaurant is perfect for a pre-theater dining experience. The Castro Theater is just a block and a half away from here. Sumi was a very warm and friendly dining experience. We're an intimate restaurant. We have about 45 seats here, and a lot of people feel like it's coming into their second dining room once they leave their home. It's great for special occasions, for birthdays, anniversaries, and it's also wonderful to just pop in off the street with a friend as you're walking by and casually come in. We get to know our customers over the years and chat with them and get to know them by name. It's really very, very relaxed here.
Now, Laura, Sumi is the owner, and she's been there for 22 years?
Correct.
Inside the restaurant?
Yes, she's been there for a long time, and everybody in the Castro knows her, and everybody loves to go to her restaurant because they feel like they're going to a special friend's intimate dinner party. I think that's the way I feel when I walk in there. It's elegant, it's classy, the food is fresh California cuisine, and with an Asian, sexy kind of Asian flair to it. And the service is very attentive but friendly, and I would say that the atmosphere is just very intimate and romantic.
It is a perfect, quaint setting. It's very dimly lit. You feel like you're in somebody's house. For me, there was a couple things that stood out. The service was excellent. There was one dish, the calamari, that was excellent, and the rest of it for me was not as good. Okay. The calamari was came with a trio of sauces, and it was lightly fried and battered, and it was almost like tempura, I guess. It was just really perfectly done, and it was our favorite thing. And we weren't going to order it, but the server suggested. He said that's my favorite thing on the menu, and we definitely didn't want to skip what he thought was the best thing. Right. So it was really.
I like how it comes in a little basket, a little wicker basket, and they bring you the chopsticks to eat it with. And I had it with the rock shrimp, the calamari and rock shrimp combination, and then the 3 dipping sauces. I love the chili dipping sauce. That's my favorite. The lime chili, very delicious.
Yeah, and what other appetizers do you have when you go there normally?
Well, I usually have a salad and a soup. I love their soups. The last time I was there, I had a fresh white corn soup with a dollop of garlic butter on it, and it was just felt like I was eating corn right off the cob, fresh picked from the farm that day. It was just wonderful.
And Haven's over here waiting to get in, Tell me about your night at Sumi.
I would have to characterize it as dramatic highs and plunging lows.
Ooh, roller coaster night.
Roller coaster night, starting with the parking. I almost got killed by someone literally trying to run me over. So that sort of set the tone for the evening. It was very upsetting. I was very happy to be in the presence of Sumi. One of the things I liked the best about the restaurant was her indelible presence. It was clearly hers. Very much has this intimate neighborhood feeling.
Definitely.
But I'm a tough character. I spent many hours in real Japanese farmhouse kitchens and dining rooms, and I loved the feel of the room because it really did feel like somewhere you'd go to in northern Japan. It was a stifling hot day, unfortunately. So it's probably
fresh and
better.
Sexy decor does not fit the description.
No, I wasn't fresh. But the low point, I must say, was our server, who, although he was handsome and very entertaining, and he tried desperately hard, he didn't know much about the food. And I was really disappointed in the fish offerings on the menu. There was nothing that was even slightly sustainable. Eco-friendly seafood. It isn't monkfish. It's an endangered species. So we were polite, we kept quiet. Maybe he was just having a bad night, but we were rather shocked.
Possibly new.
Yeah. I did fall in love with the miso chicken,
Oh,
though,
yes.
and it's the food that gets me. I will go back. I licked the plate.
That's
And
a
that is a
signature dish.
signature, right?
That was an extraordinary dish, and it did taste like my mother's Japanese farmhouse
Oh.
miso chicken. So
Very
I paid for
tender,
that.
very.
Beautifully tender. Doing what miso is supposed to do. Miso isn't supposed to be thick and cloying and overwhelming. It is supposed to perfume and tenderize and have that sort of tang, umami, the earthiness
Right.
that miso can bring, and it was a stellar dish.
And you sounded like you had some highs and lows, but
Yeah, I did. The calamari was so good, we were really happy. We ordered some wine, or we're trying to actually pick a wine, and he brought a couple out to taste, so we really enjoyed that. So, then I ordered the scallops for my entree, and they were under-seasoned. They weren't perfect. There was nothing unique about them, and so I was disappointed more with the entree. It didn't stand out to me at all. The dessert was excellent, so it made up for it. So overall, it kind of jumped around, but yeah, it was highs and lows. for me.
and dessert.
Her signature dish is the Sumi sundae, and that one of them is signature desserts, and it comes in a tall martini glass, and it has the Scharfenberger chocolate cake on the bottom, and then it's got some French vanilla ice cream and a little bit of whipped cream, and there's a homemade chocolate sauce on the top drizzled, and then there's some brandied cherry. So that just is perfect.
I'm
for
hungry
me.
already,
Yes,
just hearing
that was.
That's what we had, yeah.
thought
And it
so.
was as good as it sounds. It was really good.
And pricing, did you feel like you got your money's worth?
I thought it was reasonable. Yeah, I mean, I certainly felt that the food was of a really good quality, and you paid for that, and I think you should.
I feel like it was quality food. I didn't feel like it was prepared, at least my entree was prepared all that well. So, I think it's reasonably priced. It's not expensive.
So, quick summary.
Sumi's is a place to go if you looking for a special evening, but you don't have a lot of money to spend and you're on a budget. Go before 7 o'clock for their fixed priced menu, and you will get attentive service with attention to detail.
All right, Steve?
I think it's a great place to go on a date. I think you got to know what to order, but it's definitely quaint and charming and great service.
Okay, and Haven?
Lock the server in the bathroom and order the miso glazed chicken.
All right. If you would like to try Sumi, it's on 18th at Diamond in San Francisco. The telephone number is 415-626-7864. It's open every day for dinner. Reservations are recommended, and the average tab per person without drinks is around $30. There isn't a bad table in the house of Steve's Hideaway restaurant. He retreats to this peaceful small-town location for romantic dinners, garden views, and clean, expressive flavors. It's in Ross in Marin County, and it's called Marché Aux Fleurs.
The inspiration for the restaurant is the farmers markets in the south of France. We go to our farmers markets here in San Rafael twice a week, and we've built great relationships with most of the local farmers to supply us with top produce, peak of ripeness. Everything's hand-selected. We form the menu based on what we see at the market and what is coming into the market.
Dan and I both feel that the wine list at Marché Aux Fleurs is as important as the menu. So when we select the wines, we have a few qualifiers before a wine makes it onto the list. The first is the wine needs to be delicious. The second is it needs to be family owned and operated. So we don't carry any corporately owned wines. Every time we go away and come back again, we feel so fortunate to be here in Marin with the gorgeous patio during the summer, and during the winter we close the doors and cozy up in the beautiful intimate dining room.
Steve, this is a bit of Provence in Marin County, isn't it?
It is. It's a quaint outdoor space. It has indoor and outdoor space, but there's just an open air feel to it. You feel like you're in the south of France. They get all of their vegetables, all their meats are organic. They're from the area. They don't overdo the cooking. They let the food shine, the ingredients shine.
Did you enjoy your experience there?
The pressure was on. It was my first anniversary. And I had the stomach flu for weeks, and I hadn't eaten anything, and I was really saving up for this. And it met my every expectation. The setting was lovely, and high marks for any restaurant that makes that much of an effort to work with local foods. We had a wonderful experience. Most of the dishes were very clean, authentic. A couple of little off spots, a little bit too heavy on the grains. But for the most part, I thought the vegetables really spoke. The meats were very well chosen. And the service was extremely sensitive. We had a lovely experience there.
And what were some of your standout dishes?
One of my favorites was probably my appetizer. It was a salad of grilled peaches, prosciutto.
I had that. Really good.
Point raised blue cheese and hazelnuts. It was just absolutely wonderfully
sweet,
done.
salty.
We have that one.
Sweet and salty. It's a summer classic. It suited, the temperature and my mood. And the peach was rather huge, and the grill marks were somewhat aggressive. That's a small criticism.
I don't know, but with a little rosé, everything tastes great, doesn't it?
Yes.
Little Vandal.
Yeah, and also high marks for the wine list, which I think was also just like the service, sensitive, very well chosen, enough explanation, but all not overbearing.
And owners Dan and Holly Baker are trained as sommeliers, both of them.
Yeah,
so
you
it
could
is
feel
an
that in the
award-winning
list.
wine list.
Yes, and their pairing suggestions were excellent too.
Right.
And what I liked was that they had an extensive half-bottle menu. So we got carried away and we kept ordering, a half bottle with the salad, half bottle with the appetizer.
And how many were there? 2 of you?
And they're going, you're having a lot of fun here, aren't you?
Well, that's the joy of half bottles, is that you can try a couple of different whites. You can have a sparkling maybe, you can have a red.
My favorite was the first thing I had, which was a medjool date appetizer, and it was medjool dates stuffed with a pecorino cheese and wrapped in a applewood smoky bacon. And oh my gosh, talk about the sweet and the salty together. With the creamy cheese in the middle. When they brought those and I started eating them, I said, I don't even want to go anywhere else. Just let me bring me 5 or 6 orders of these, and I'll sit here all night and eat this.
You've died and gone to France.
Oh,
right.
I felt the same way about the gnocchi. Really, I mean, I loved my
yes.
My appetizer salad, but the gnocchi with English peas and morels. Normally, I go into whose potatoes in the gnocchi? Where did the cream come from? And peas are kind of at the end of the season.
You're a tough customer, Haven.
I don't care.
Anything go by.
Yeah,
but they were heavenly little clouds.
They were perfect.
So, Steve, you've clearly made these 2 women very happy.
Apparently, yeah.
very, very happy. So next time you're going to have to pay to take them back again.
There you go.
You have to tell your fiance, I'm sorry, I'm going to take the other 2 women. When you go, do you have a favorite dish, or is it you love to explore and try different things?
So this time I explored, but there are some things I really love. So they've in the past done a shellfish escargot. Now it's kind of morphed into a point-raised clams escargot style. So they bring out a escargot plate, smother it in herbs and garlic and olive oil, and it just
I missed that.
Great, yeah. So they're known for that, I think. The BLT salad is something that's very common. I order it all the time. But the house-made pasta was the first time I tried that, and it was just outstanding. You could really taste just the pasta even, and it had so much flavor in it.
Anybody have dessert? Yes.
Yeah, we had several desserts.
I know.
We actually ordered the chocolate tart souffle. Somehow we always end up ordering one of those if it's on the menu. So we had that. We had a fruit crisp, which was excellent as well. I think we had one more, but I can't remember what it was because I think the chocolate just kind of stood out for me.
The molten chocolate cake. Oh. That was my favorite. Yeah,
mine wasn't molten. That was the only part of the food that I'd have to give slightly low marks. We had the same dessert. I wanted the Scharfenberger. I wanted that flavor profile, and I wanted a molten cake, and there was nothing whatsoever molten about it.
It was just it was all cake and no.
It was all
no
cake
lava
and
in
no
there.
lava. Yeah, I was quite surprised.
You mentioned the service. Well-paced, well-timed.
Just exemplary and sensitive. Whenever we really needed her, she was there, and most of the time we didn't. You know, you could have a wonderful, intimate conversation. You know, I dread this in American restaurants, that you're just at the peak of either the bite of what's in your mouth, or you're really having in a very intense moment of connection in your conversation, and the server tromps up, plants himself in front of you and says, "Is everything all right?" Yeah.
So lock him in the bathroom.
Yeah. So yeah, the service was incredibly sensitive to our moods and paces, and yeah, I would like to see her again and everyone in there. I can't say enough good about it.
Everything is just so fresh and so, tasty that you know, you're willing to pay for it. I think I could have gotten out of there a lot cheaper if I hadn't had all those half bottles of wine.
Well, they're just little. See,
yes, I know.
And parking is a breeze here. Not a worry there.
Yeah. Carbon footprint is high. If you drive from Oakland, you probably have to buy carbon offsets for the trip if you want to be truly green. But.
Well, this is your restaurant, Steve. So tell people why they need to head to Ross.
For a quaint, fresh local ingredients, well prepared, there's just no better place to go. They do everything with a thoughtful mind.
Laura?
I can't wait to go back for the next season. I'm going to go in the fall and try the seasonal bounty. I would go there. And one thing I did like about it is that I was the youngest person at the restaurant that evening, so that really made me feel good.
And Haven?
In Provence, I bet they do serve local, seasonal, sustainable cuisine, and they pulled it off in Ross. How impressive.
All right. Well, Marché Aux Fleurs is in Ross in Marin County. The telephone number is 415-925-9200. It's open for dinner Tuesday through Saturday, and reservations are recommended. The average tab per person without drinks is around $45. Well, I want to thank my fabulous guests on this week's show, Haven Bork, Laura Lyson, and Steve Kameroff. Laura agreed that the food at Haven's Baladie Gourmet Cafe in San Francisco was excellent, although she would take it to go next time. And Steve thought it just so-so, but he'll go back with Haven. Laura's Sumi in San Francisco's Castro district was met with mixed feelings. All agreed the service was excellent if, as Haven felt, a little ill-informed. For Steve, the entrees were below par. For Haven, the food was disappointing, with one heavenly miso-glazed exception. And Steve's Marché Aux Fleurs in Ross, across the Golden Gate Bridge, was worth the trip. Even if Haven felt one dish lacked oomph, Laura would return in a heartbeat. Well, our time is up. Don't forget that if you want more chat, you can add your comments online and find out about what wines we're enjoying right now. You can also view this and all the shows online or download the podcast. Join us next time when 3 new guests will recommend their favorite spots right here on Check Please Bay Area. I'm Leslie Sabraco, and I'll see you then. Cheers! Woohoo!
This show is available in high definition, Comcast On Demand, and via podcast. For additional information on the restaurants featured, to comment, or to apply to be on the show, go to our website at kqed.org/checkplease. A KQED television production.